Here we are, 5 days till race day, and my car is nowhere ready. So I'm going to kind of take you along my checklist of what I do to get the car ready for race week. We're going to go through everything, and then we get a few extra bonuses as well. The car's currently winterized, so it's on pump gas. I'm going to switch it over to methanol, and then the converter's out of it, so we're going to change stators, add a few sensors, and just get it ready. So hang tight, we're going racing in a few days, enjoy it. You didn't think I'd forget, did you? Welcome back to the channel. All right, we got a classic case of you gotta make it fit. Old driveshaft sensor and wheel. You know, there's a strange ultra case, so they have a 5/16 inch hole up there for your driveshaft sensor. I ordered a high definition wheel, so it's 32 teeth from Davis Technologies. Look at that, guy. So lots more data you get from this versus your standard magnet wheel. But his sensor is 3/8. Won't fit in that hole. So I gotta drill this out and tap it to get it all working. So follow along as I try to tap. I hate tapping anything, but I'm gonna give it a try. Okay, this is also a great time to talk about quality of tools. You saw that tapped right through. I got the new sensor in there, and that was a piece of cake. I went and picked this up today. I don't know if you'll be able to see this too good, but I went and picked this up today. It's a new tap holder and a brand new 3/8 by 24 tap. And it worked great. I was struggling last night with this guy. This is just an old tap that I've had for a long time, old tap holder, and this thing was just junk. I couldn't get it to tap at all. I was really struggling with it, and I don't know if you'll be able to see, this tap is in bad shape. The threads just don't look great. I shouldn't even try to use it, but you know how it goes. You get in the middle of a project, you don't want to stop. Really struggling with this. So the quick story is, make sure you got nice stuff. It's hard to do with old beat up stuff. I have got to get this to quit dripping. It's stinking up my garage. But there you go, it's done, it's in there, so on to the next thing, and here we go. Okay, transmission is not in the car, you can see that. But I switched it over from pump gas back to methanol, and I just want to go through, start it up. I'm going to change the tune and start it up, and yeah, see what it starts. Normally it's kind of the first start after you switch back and forth can be a little questionable, but it's just kind of part of getting ready for a race. Normally I don't have to do this. Normally I just stay on methanol all year long. I'm racing every week or two. It's not a big deal. I'll go over methanol maintenance, another video on kind of what you have to do for it. But it's winter time. You know, there was one point where I didn't drive my car for a month. So I just put it over to pump gas so I can let it sit. Don't have to worry about it. But I just drained everything, cycled methanol through there. I'm gonna go flash the tune real quick, and then I'm gonna try to start it, hang with it. It can be a little rough, but this is how it is. this had come out or something. Shoot. So I had thought when I did all this, so let me back up. When I switched from pump gas and methanol, the easiest way I found to do it is I'll take the return line off of my gas tank and I'll feed it to the bottom of the car and I'll put it in a bucket. I'll take my cable off of my fuel pump and put a drill on it. So then I can hit the drill and it runs all the fuel through the system and empties it into the bucket. And then once it's empty, I'll put like 2 gallons of methanol in there and run the drill again to cycle methanol all the way through there. Once I do that, I'll put the return back on it, fill it full of methanol, and then I'll run the drill again to cycle methanol completely through the system. That, I feel, gets 99% of it done. This time when I was doing it, when I pulled the cable off and I was trying to put the cable back on, it felt a little funny and I thought it had popped off the front. I'm guessing, so I just turned it over for a while, no fuel pressure. It got oil pressure and everything else, no fuel pressure. So I'm guessing it did come off the front, and when I tried to put it back, I didn't get it. So no fuel pressure, whatever. Hang tight, I'll be right back. I'm gonna put that back on if that is the problem. Okay, try 2. I got the cable in there. Sure enough, it just come out in the front. Super easy to fix. Take it off both ends, put it on the front first, make sure the cable goes in there, you can't turn it, and it's in the front, and then you put the back on, tighten it up. Took a minute, but let's try to start it again. It's kind of out in here. So Starts great. What I'm kind of doing there when I first switch it to methanol, I'm checking, fuel pressure, make sure fuel pressure's up and good. My base pressure's still good. I'm checking my air-fuel ratio, see if there's still some gasoline mixed in it. Normally, if there's gasoline, it'll still be reading. Really, I don't know, rich or lean. It was right on, so it doesn't matter. And then I'm checking my EGTs as well. Just make sure all the cylinders are hot, firing good. You heard it it's revving really good, and I was like, man, why is it so crisp and quick throttle response? I don't have a transmission in it. No transmission, no converter. All that's drag on the motor. So when you don't have that and you just got a flywheel on there, it's real snappy. It's pretty cool. I kind of like it like this. So yeah, so it's back on methanol, burning the eyes. I love it. It sounds so much better. It's a happier combination on the methanol. Got to tune in. I think everything's good. So now I want to do that. I want to change spark plugs, check oil, and kind of go through all that. Transmission's going to go back up and just get all that done. We had to drill in the flywheel out for the converter change. Just lots of stuff going on. Race prep. I'm going to be going over more detail, what else I'm doing, kind of getting it ready for the racing next weekend, 5 days away. So I'm getting after it. I'm trying. There is a reason that I switched it over to methanol before I changed the plugs. Pump gas can kind of foul my plugs. I don't have the best pump gas tune. And then the changeover can kind of foul some plugs as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw a new set of plugs in. And this is normally a typical big race weekend. I'm going to probably put in a new set of plugs anyways. I don't go through plugs a lot like a nitrous car would, but I do change my plugs pretty regularly. It's just I keep an eye on the motor that way. You can tell a lot from the motor's health by keeping a fresh set of plugs in there and seeing what's going on. So I'll normally race a weekend on the plugs and then maybe test the next weekend and then put a fresh set in for race day. But here I am putting a new set of plugs in it right now. I run NGK plugs. Let me see if I can get that in. R5671A-9. So it's a 9 heat range. I've ran these plugs in the last several of my combinations. They work great. I gap them to 16 thousandths. Some may say that's tight, some may say that's loose, some people like 10s, 8s, whatever. This is just what I've run. I've, checked the spark plugs after some passes. They look good. I feel the heat range is good for the boost level I'm running, so on and so forth. Everyone's kind of got their own opinion on spark plugs. I don't really want to go on that. The next item on the checklist is a checklist. It's crazy. But no, Motion Raceworks makes these. They're just a little safety checklist, and they're a high level of what you should kind of keep an eye on your street cars or race cars, if that applies to you. Not me, street car. But they have, undercarriage, check these bolts, caliper bolts, shock bolts, control arm bolts, so on and so forth. Exterior, what to check there. Interior, safety equipment, and seat belts, and then engine compartment, levels, and fittings, and make sure it's all secure. These are cool little checklists. Check them out. Shameless plug, but it's a good high level. And then when you do this enough, you'll kind of add your own items like, hey, I remember one time those bolts came loose. I really need to put a wrench on those and check those every so often. And just come up with your own mental checklist or get one of these checklists, but it's always good to have a checklist of what you're checking before race day. It can really save you, your car, and a whole bad situation. Spark plugs done. It takes all of 10-15 minutes to do them. This side is super easy. The other side maybe a smidge harder, not really. I put a little bit of NICs on the plugs before I put them in, and then I put a little dot of dielectric grease to help get the plug wires on. But yeah, that's all. And then, as I'm going through here and doing the plug wires, I'm checking, connectors, make sure they're all seated good, and just doing, these visual inspections. I actually put a wrench on all the intake bolts, made sure they were tight, checking the coil connectors, make sure they're all still on there. You just never know what's getting worked loose. I'm putting my hands on all these fittings, making sure they're dry and feeling good. That's just kind of a visual inspection and, checking stuff out as you're going along. And so what's next on the checklist? Oh yeah, transmission. I gotta get that guy in. It wouldn't be race week if I wasn't cleaning the car. But no, seriously, so when I painted the cage on that car over there, I had my car all the way at the end of my driveway. And I still got some overspray on it. Let me see if I can show you. I've already clay barred it. I don't know if you can see some of those speckles or not. Anyways, it has, I haven't polished over here yet, it has a little bit of overstrays, the clear coat, I believe. When I was painting the cage, the wind got it and got it onto my car. Not bad, but my car was already protected, so it kind of drove me crazy. So it just felt rough. So I went through and clay barred it, and it got 90% of it off. But after you clay bar, that pulls off all the protection I had on there. So I'm going back through and I'm polishing it. So I use just some quick detailer, clay barred the surface. And then I'm using the Methanol 3500 Super Finish. I originally started, I don't even see it. Oh, there it is. I originally started with the Sonax Perfect Finish and a polishing pad. It wasn't getting it off. So I needed something with just a little more cut, but I didn't want to get crazy. So I switched to the Methanol 3500. It's got a little bit of a cut, and then it comes out super finished. So it's still a one-stage correction, but then I also switched to a cutting microfiber instead of finishing microfiber. So this has got a little more cut in it as well. And then after I do all this, I wipe it down with some good prep that's got like some alcohol so it removes everything out of it. But check this out. So I polished this side so far, and you look at that. It looks crazy. So yeah, it's getting all the overspray off. It looks really good. So I'll come back and I'll put some sealant and some wax on it. I may update as I do that, but just kind of want to show you guys what I'm doing right now on race week. I still have not put in the transmission. It's still on the ground. I'm waiting on some stuff, whatever. A little bit later, StreetCar Powerlock Plus polymer sealant. This stuff is awesome. And you cover the whole car. So I finished buffing everything, and then after you buff it, you wipe it down with that prep, and then you put the sealant on. And you put the sealant on the entire car to let it kind of dry as you go. You need to let it sit about an hour or so. But by the time you get to the back, the front's pretty well dry and about to come off. If you have never put polymer sealant like this on a car and then taken a nice plush microfiber towel like this, you know, the Rag Company Edgeless plush microfiber, and wipe this off, you have not experienced clean, slick paint. It's about the best thing you can ever do if you like cleaning cars at all. So go try it. Gonna wax it next. Then I really got to put in that transmission. Wiring, my favorite part of building cars. Seriously, I love it. So, as typical stuff would happen, the old drive shaft sensor was a 5 volt supply voltage. The new one's 12 volt. So, it doesn't work. I need to go through and figure out what I did with the wiring on the rear of the car. 3 days till race day. So what I'm doing is, here's all the papers that I made when I originally wired the car. These are for the bulkhead, not really needed right now. This goes out to the engine bay, but I at least thought I'd show you kind of what I do here. I go through, you have limited number of plugs and their sizes up here. And then I just kind of go through and allocate this stuff. So it shows you what gauge wire it is, 12 gauge, 16, 20 gauge, what color wire I have for it, and what it is going to. That one's just the front, and then this one is the one that's got more. It's front and a little bit on the back. So this is all the wiring that goes out to the engine bay. And then I have the main harnesses where I kind of specify what everything's going to. But the one I need is over here. So you can see, here's my drive shaft sensor. It's the input, what it's going to. I was mainly looking for the connector that it's in, because I know it's getting its voltage here, which you can see it's 5 volt voltage. There's actually not 12 volts on this one. However, there's J2A for you Holly guys, J2A connector. I also use J2B is in this loom together, which it does have B20. 12 volts out. So I'm going to do some quick wiring, and I'll probably show you as I tear apart my loom and kind of fix this so it does work. But yeah, quick little wiring. I actually love doing this stuff. I wasn't upset when I found it out. I like going in, doing the wiring. Stinks that it's 3 days from race day and the converter's still out. I have got to get to work on that.
Oh shit.
Look who's here!
I'm depressed.
How long's it been?
You said,
Weeks!
You said 9 dates.
9? I have invited Dave over 9 times in the last 3 weeks.
Did you actually count there or did you throw them?
No, I actually counted it. 9 times.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you is your friend.
Well, that too.
I gotta beep that because I'm a family appropriate channel.
Insert beef here.
Yes. What are you doing, Dave?
I just came to
Look at
bench race for the weekend.
Oh, hold on. Look what's not on the ground. Oh, yes. The transmission is in the car.
Oh, yeah,
You haven't been here. For all my viewers that care, they have been watching that my transmission has not been in the car. But it's finally in. Let's not talk about it.
I almost was.
Let's not talk about it, Dave. Anyways.
Joe has 2 of something.
How have you been?
Dave's doing alright. Dave's been busy.
That's good, man. I miss you, buddy. Where you been?
I've just been busy watching your channel.
3 days until the flashlight shootout. Are you ready?
I came to bench race.
Yeah, we were. We were just bench racing about
who's coming.
if I should go Pro Charger. Comment below. No, I'm just kidding.
Separate video.
kind of an inside joke. It seems like every local car is now Pro Charger, and
StreetCar Joe, little baby.
StreetCar Joe with the baby turbo hasn't raced one in the finals yet. I wonder why.
I don't know. Street cars and 76mm to the front.
Oh, I thought I had an 88. Is it 76?
Oh, I thought we switched.
I have an 88. You have a 76.
I have a 76 this year.
And he has a 94.
Oh, that sucks. So what were you doing?
I was working on the transmission tonight. Yes, getting that all. Let me. I was working on the transmission and getting that all buttoned up. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
What's next on your race prep?
Wiring. I was just going over wiring with them about what I need to change, but I stopped to put the transmission up. So wiring's next, and then yeah, I'm getting pretty close actually. Put the interior back in.
A lot of people want to know how you wire.
How I am?
No, how you wire.
Oh, how I wire, yes. No, did you notice that car is, I started wiring on it. Yes, started it. So I got some videos coming for wiring on that one, so yes. You ready?
I'm ready.
How's the tank stain? What's the update on that?
You guys want to know why I don't upload videos? I got nothing.
You know, you could have content if you came by. Just saying. Excuse my wiring mess while I finish this up real quick. So I actually didn't have anything coming out of B20, the 12 volts. So I have a baggie of spare Holly pins. So I actually pinned a new wire and put it in there. Pinned a new wire, put it in there in B20. It's this white wire. You can't really see. But anyways, pinned it, and then I came back here. This is where the drive shaft wires were coming in. They're shielded, and then I took it off the 5 volt and put it in the 12 volt. So that's really easy. Actually, have some extra cable, I'd say, in there of my harness, extra harness. I have, it loops in there, so I can unplug it from my Holly, and then I have room to work in here if I need to do any wiring like I'm doing right now. While I wait for FedEx, I wax the car. But no, seriously, you know, I did the sealant the other night. You gotta let it cure for like 12 to 24 hours after you do it. So it's cured up, and now I'm waxing the car. I'm pretty much ready to go. I am just waiting for FedEx to deliver some parts. I need some key parts to get here so I can start up the car, test everything that I've changed, make sure it's all good. And then, yeah, I'm pretty much ready to load up. 2 days till race day. We got it. I'm ready to go racing. Alright, sorry. I think there were some fingerprints there or something. I don't know. Anyways, car's done. It's on the ground. Yay! So I'm currently scaling it. Maybe we'll work out a deal if I get so many subscribers or likes or something. I'll share the weight someday. I don't know. So if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe now. But I don't know. Maybe someday we'll talk about the weight. But the last couple weeks, in addition to sensors and everything else, was weight loss. I was trying to shed out some extra pounds. I did lose a little bit of weight. I had to put some back, whatever. It is what it is. I'll never be happy with the weight, but I do what I can to try to get this heavy turd a little lighter. So, and then, you know, all my sensors are working. I got, you know, a bunch of new sensors that I was trying to get ready for the race coming up. Shout out Maven. They hooked me up with a new front suspension sensor. I can't really talk too much about it, but I'm doing some beta testing or helping him out on this new sensor. Really looking forward to that data. Driveshaft sensor, it's all working. And then I went through and checked all the suspension and set it up. Sorry guys, I was out of time. I'll make a suspension video dedicated to that when I do the Camaro. But this one, you know, more race prep. This is just kind of what I do to get it going, and typical race prep, I'm out of time. There's never enough time to get ready for a race. So I got it down, scaled it, happy with everything. It's running good, everything's good. I'm gonna load it up and we're gonna go racing. It's just one day till race day. So I finished just in the nick of time. Extreme Raceway Park this weekend. If you're in the DFW area, come hang out. I'll be down there. I got some stickers I'll have with me. I know I'm working on the whole merch thing. I don't know. We'll see where that ends up. But right now I got some stickers that you could get. But we'll be there Friday night. I think I'm going to go over to the Motorplex, hang out. I don't really need to test, but I'll be there. I may make some passes. We'll see. The XRP gates are, you know, in the middle of the afternoon for spectators, I think. Testing late afternoon, and the race starts at like 7 or so. So come hang out. Come check out the car. It's ready to go. Hoping to have a good time. We'll see how it does. It's been a hectic few weeks getting ready. I'm just ready to get out of town, go racing, and do it. So hopefully we'll see y'all there.